passion, sweet fears. Oh, you're in good hands. They say I'm gentle, so don't be scared. I'm a monster. Every turn has its thrill. My game, my will. Pilgrim, don't let me, okay? No, I wanna be given the blame. Hold up, wait a minute, what you're talking about? Hold up, wait a minute, what you're talking about? Wanna be given the blame. I'm a fraud. 'Cause I'm a true psychopath. When you're lost, take your trust. That's me. That's so sick. I'm a fraud, call me a liar. A true psycho. Woo. I'm a fraud, call me a liar. A true psychopath, don't love me. When you're lost, take your trust. Yeah, that's me. Oh, that's me, that's me, that's me. Yes, I'm a fraud. Call me a liar. A true psychopath.
Hey, it is Friday. We made it through the week, and what a week it was, wasn't it? Such a busy. Yeah, I showed Damien and Jesse, Paula. I did. Yes, I showed you. How is everybody today? Let me say hi to you guys. Let's see who all we got in here. Let me scroll. Let's see. We've got Petunia, Nana Banana, Nadine, my boo, Mary Jane Doe, Sexy Wild Fang, Carol freaking Papa Elvis Claus, Kate Brace, Pointer Lover, hello, Michelle L, hello, JM's, hello, Kaleida Hope, Paris, happy birthday, Lil Red, Amanda Love, Kathy, good to see everybody. Hope you guys had Lisa, hope you guys had a great week. Kathy R, Sam, hey Sam, Harlot Oscara, Cray Photo Wintig, Grandma CC, good to see you. Sandy, hey, Kathy 4. I don't want to miss anybody, but my thing is jumping. So hello to everybody. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you guys for joining us. Let me bring up my friend Allie. Please hold. Hello.
Hello.
What are you doing?
Not much. I almost got sidetracked and I looked at the clock and it was 8:02. I was like, oh God.
I was sidetracked right with you.
I know. I know. But no, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to hear from people. I hope some of you guys will come up and give us your thoughts.
Yes.
Yeah.
I very much want you guys to come up and give us your thoughts. I think that maybe this should be a thing we do from now on at the end of trials is talk about like all of the things. Pointer Lover, member for 11 months. Thank you, babe. I appreciate that so much. And Bonnie, welcome. Thank you for becoming a member. Welcome to the ward. I got a little thing I'm working on. for when these things, like when we do, like when you guys join memberships and stuff like that. I just need this one real specific sound clip that I'm looking for, and I haven't found it yet. But be patient with me. When I get it all when I finally put everything all together, it turns out mostly good. So I'm excited to do that. And I'm working on the intro for the jail calls. I want to spice it up a little bit because, y'all, guess what I found? I found Letitia at the club. So that has got to be added to the video. So I've got to work all of that in. And don't forget, if you are interested in the Gypsy Rose, Nick Godejohn case and the unaliving of Dee Dee Blanchard. That first part will premiere tomorrow. It's going from Gypsy and Nick's backgrounds all the way up until 2013. And then part 2 will be 2014 through 2015, and then the third part will be everything like the trial and then the appeal and all that stuff. So because I kind of wanted to keep it all together in a cohesive way, and if I would have just kept going and just put it all in one video, first of all, it would have taken me 7 years, and 45 minutes video already took me like a month and a half. But it would have been like 2 or 3 hours, because I want to put everything in there. And if I break it up into smaller chunks, which 45 minutes ain't all that small, but you take my meaning. So yeah. That's the plan. So Allie,
well, you know what I'm doing?
What are you doing? I can't wait to hear about it. Tell me.
2 things I just want to mention that I'm doing. I am about to put a new wax melt in of Nays, and I'm using the Pear one more light, which I used to love and I haven't used for a while.
That one is amazing. She sent me a sample of that when she sent me that box with all the samples. Oh my God, that one was so good.
Love it. So good. And if you guys haven't checked out Nays Melts, check them out. Bendy has a code. Queen of Roast.
I'm putting it in right now.
Okay. Awesome. And then the other thing I was going to say is somebody in B Crumbs, I thought it was B Crumbs because she loves sweet tart robes. She apparently knows who it was. It was not her. One of you guys sent me a whole bunch of sweet tart ropes and a whole bunch of Nerds clusters. I mean, like a lot of them. And
you better send some to me.
I know.
I do love Nerds. I love a Nerds rope.
These are the clusters, so they're just like ropes in little bites.
Oh my
they're like
God!
A rope cut up in pieces.
Oh, okay. See, because I saw the Nerds, the gummy thingies. They like it's a little gummy nerd on the inside, and then it's coated with little nerds on the outside, which also makes me excited.
Those are just like, that's what this is. They're just like the ropes. But B Crumbs was like, the boys are going to be so excited, and I was like, who said I'm telling them? I don't know what you're thinking this is.
Oh my gosh.
That's all. Thank you, whoever it was, because I don't know who it was, and I just wanted to say thank you so much. You guys are really so good to us, and thank you.
Oh, Allie, I'm so happy for you that you got your snacks. Snacks are important. People don't understand, and they really underestimate the value of snacks in their lives. You need to eat 3 meals. No, you don't. You can snack, and you'll be fine.
Just snack all day,
Just snack all day. That's what I do. I pretty much just kind of like, not in the morning. It takes me a while. I gotta be up for a while. So like around about 12:30 or whatever is when I'm ready to graze. And then I do a little like fruit, and then I do some Cheez-Its. I like snacks. My favorite snack, see, I go back and forth. Okay. Candy wise, My favorite candies are cherry sours from Bucky's. Bucky's cherry sours.
Ooh,
Oh God,
I love
don't get
those.
me
But I've
started.
never had the Bucky's ones, but I love those.
Bucky's are something special. They're not your average cherry sours. It's kind of like Publix and their fruit bowls. Okay. You can get a fruit bowl anywhere, but you can't always get a Publix fruit bowl. And if you know, you know. I'm telling y'all, these fruit bowls from Publix are cut up fruit by angels. Okay. Each piece of fruit is equally ripe. You know how you will get a fruit bowl and you will get that one funky, like grape
Yes.
that's really
Yes.
shriveled, or the strawberries really? No. Publix doesn't do any of that, none of those shenanigans. So I'm telling you, Publix fruit bowls. I like Cheez-Its. I like Mike and Ike's, the originals, and I like Skittles originals. Those are the two candies I like. And if I get chocolate, I like Hershey's. But I like regular and the one with almonds. But like, yeah, my secret favorite is, but I can only have it like in moderation, is, are y'all ready? I like Ritz with some damn easy cheese, the cheddar. That's my favorite.
Oh yeah, the easy cheese. There's something about it, even though, you know, it's not like real. Well, it might be made with real cheese, but it's not cheese. Yeah. Is there something so good about it?
I don't know what it is, but it's like, it's fucking delicious. And that is my favorite. That and handy snacks. The cheese and cracker ones, the handy snacks ones that for some reason now they've taken out the little red stick that used to be in there. I'm sure something happened, and so they can no longer have a red stick, but those are my favorites. No, not like Cheese Whiz. This is cheese in a can, ma'am. This has got aerosol. Easy cheese is so good. So yeah. And I also
you can squirt it out in little designs.
Sure can. Squirt it right in your mouth. I just like it. And I like, I said the handy snacks, and I also like Pop-Tarts, but it has to be frosted, and it has to be the brown sugar one. That one. That's the one I like the best.
Ooh, yeah. The brown sugar is good, and cinnamon or whatever.
No, Cheese Whiz, Kimberly, comes in a bottle. I mean, like a jar. This is aerosol cheese. Look for it at the store. It's in the same, it's in a metal can. You'll see it. And I like whipped cream in a can.
Oh, I love whipped cream in a can.
Nadine, I only really like two flavors of Pop-Tarts. The strawberry frosted ones and the brown sugar frosted ones. It's like WWF up in here, Alice and Mac. Hold on, y'all. Let me let them out. I can't believe y'all can't hear them fighting in the background. They're throwing each other all the way around. Excuse me while I handle my rowdy heathens.
Okay. I'm just sitting here swatching different colored lipsticks on my hand, wondering who of you guys are going to come up tonight. I hope that some of you guys will, because I just am looking forward to hearing from you. I mean, I could sit here and talk to Jen, and we could talk through it all, and that will be interesting too. But I am also hoping to hear from you guys.
Exactly. I'm ready to hear from you guys. These fools bugged to be in here. And then, all right. So I am putting the link in the chat. Let me go over to the YouTube side so that I can pin it. You do not have to have your camera on. I would never do that to anybody. That's rude. I'll just put the pin screen up. So what I thought we could do, just for, old time's sake, let's watch. Hold on a minute. Let me switch over here. Let's watch The Verdict one more time.
Okay.
What do you say, Allie? You down?
Yep. Sounds like a plan. Oh, Jen, I saw a video just a minute ago of them out searching for her. Did you see that?
Yes. Okay, so I watched that too. And okay, I thought they were like conducting a search like then, but actually, that apparently was footage from last spring. But they do
Yes,
have an open case. They're going to continue to look for her.
in that area,
So,
they
and
said
they
like
have
more
like,
searches.
bruh, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Hold on a
So
minute.
that's, I don't
My
know.
phone is being a jerk.
I don't know. I hope they found her one day, but you know, I don't know. I don't know if they will.
Yeah.
Hey, Sleuth Mom, how am I supposed to flash everyone with the bean screen up? Shaking my head.
Well,
Forget
I
this.
mean, you're out. All right, let me find this really quickly. Hold on.
Claus says the Applejack Pop Tarts are really good.
I don't. I'm very, very
Pop Tart
apprehensive
picky.
about stepping out of my comfort zone with the Pop Tarts because I know the Pop Tarts that I like, and I will be so upset if I can't if I buy a whole box and I don't like it. Now I want to warn everybody right now. I'm extra fidgety and I have like the cushion to the chair and I'm fidgety because my back really hurts. And so if you hear the squeaking of the chair, that is exactly what it is. I am a
Oh no,
lady.
I'm sorry your back hurts. Dang, Nay, those wax
I don't know
melts are
what
strong. I already smell them strong as can be. Yeah, what's going on with it, Jen? You're back.
I don't know. I'm just old. No, I know what it was. When I took my shower today, I guess I was extra spicy and I don't have like anything to put your leg up on because it's just a stall shower. So there's nothing to put your leg up on. And when I was shaving my leg, I put my leg up on the wall and I didn't have like I wasn't balanced and it kind of slipped. And I think it just jarred my back a little bit. So it's just
Okay.
achy.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yes, I need WD-40 or a shower chair, something. Yeah, it just hurts. Okay.
Keep it
I'm
PG, easy. I'm sorry, you guys are funny.
Keep it PG, ma'am. Easy, lady.
Oh,
Yeah, I guess I'm not as bendy
remember?
as I thought I was.
Yeah, you're not as flexible as you thought. I do want to tell you something. So last night,
Yes.
I
Yes.
crashed hard early, far earlier than I wanted. I actually wanted to go to Amber's stream, and I crashed after like waiting on it to start from Melissa's. And I woke up, and so I didn't. They had a conversation in my Patreon chat, and I actually haven't seen it all, but I know that they want to like, the buddy bench that they were talking about getting for summer or in
Yes.
Summer's memory a long time ago. They were
Yes.
talking about maybe we could do something like that in memory of Harmony. And if there's a way that we can make that
Oh,
work, that would be really cool. So just if you
yes.
think of anything, um, and you guys that don't know what they are, it's like a little bench that they put at schools for if a kid is feeling lonely, maybe being bullied, got something going on at home, they know that they can sit at the buddy bench and like other kids know that that's where you go when you need a friend, basically that kind of thing. So I don't know, maybe we could do something cool like that, and
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't
we
know how,
should do
but
something like that. There has to be a way for us as creators there's maybe Allie, did you ever hear back? Remember you wrote to the YouTubes and suggested a charity? There's got to be a way for there maybe there's something a charity that
I
does that.
did. Maybe there is. I'll look and see what I can find. I did write and request a charity. And then after that, I switched phones and I got so behind on emails. I honestly don't know if they ever wrote back. They didn't for a while, for like a week. And then I never like went through each and every email. So I'll do a double check and see if I can find a response from them about that. And I'll also look into and see if there's any charities like that or anything.
Perfect. Okay, I'll help you. I'll look too. Um I don't need a chair. I'm not at a shower chair just yet. But what I am needing is like a little stool. I need somewhere to put my foot, so I don't have to. You
Yeah.
know what it was is there's a specific square of tile in the shower that is fine, and I think that I over instead of the fourth tile up, I went to the fifth tile. Who knows? So it is what it is, and then it was a slip. It's not that big of a shower, y'all. I don't think I can actually have a chair. And thank you, Starlight Angel, for gifting memberships. I appreciate that so much. All right, so
Aw.
let's not have a topic of Jen Lou in the shower anymore. And it's probably dinner time for people, and I just can hear things drying up
Have
like
you
the motherfucking Sahara. Huh? What?
have you dropped the link or anything? Just curious.
I did. I put it and pinned it. The link is
Okay,
in the
awesome.
chat. It's
Okay, you guys. So
pinned.
it's at the top of the chat for you guys.
I put it. Okay.
I can't see it on
Yes,
StreamYard,
it's
so
pinned and it's at the top of the chat.
awesome.
No, I can't see it. That's why I got YouTube open on my phone, because that's my backup. All right, let's hear this. Let's hear him found guilty again. Ready? Here we go. Unless you didn't
Yep.
hear it the first time, in which case, spoiler. Here we go.
Okay.
Mr. Foreperson, it's the court's understanding that the jury has reached a verdict in this matter.
That's correct.
As to charge ID 1937947C, charging the defendant Adam Montgomery with the crime of second-degree assault, do you find the defendant guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
You say that he's guilty, Mr. Foreperson?
That is correct.
So say you all, ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
Yes.
As to charge ID 2027112C, charging the defendant Adam Montgomery with the crime of second-degree murder, do you find the defendant guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
You say that he's guilty, Mr. Foreperson?
That is correct.
So say you all, ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
Yes.
And as to charge ID 2027113C, charging the defendant with the crime of falsifying physical evidence, do you find the defendant guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
You say that he's guilty, Mr. Foreperson?
That's correct.
So say you all, ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
Yes.
And on charge ID 2027114C, charging the defendant Adam Montgomery with the crime of abuse of corpse, do you find the defendant guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
You say that he's guilty, Mr. Foreperson.
That's correct.
So say you all, ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
Yes.
And on charge ID 2027115C, charging the defendant Adam Montgomery with the crime of tampering with witnesses and informants, do you find the defendant guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
You say that he's guilty, Mr. Foreperson.
That's correct.
So say you all, ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Yes.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen,
There you
I
have
want to
it.
thank you.
Now, they are not going to be doing sentencing for a while because, excuse me, excuse me, due to scheduling conflicts. But he does have to be there for sentencing. That's correct. Nana Banana, he does. Absolutely. He has to be there for sentencing.
Well, good.
And I'll tell you something that I didn't notice initially. Go ahead, babe. What were you going to say?
I was just gonna ask, will we get victim impact statements then too, right?
Yes. A lot of people wanted to know why he didn't get sentenced right then and there. Well, there's a couple of reasons. This first reason does not apply to Adam, but it does apply to it's called a pre-sentencing investigation. And so, do y'all hear him? Can y'all hear him?
Yes, I heard. Yes.
This is why we can't be friends, Mac. It's a hostile work environment. You're going to have to wait, buddy. Anywho, it's for a pre-sentencing investigation. And that is where they're going to do some interviewing. There's mitigating factors that are if there's any mitigating factors, all the things, right? So that's what they do. The state stands up and they speak and they say, Your Honor, we think that so-and-so should get this and this sentence. They give a speech and then they say, and and this is for all these reasons, we feel like this person needs to be sentenced this way. This is what we recommend. And sometimes they put witnesses on. And then the defense has an opportunity to do the same thing. And then sometimes they put witnesses on, and then the judge makes a decision and sentences the person. But there's also victim impact statements. And there's requirements, and each state is a little bit different what their requirements are and how they handle it. But typically, there's a victim's advocate that sits and talks with the victims' families and helps them to prepare for the victim impact statements. And some judges want for the victim impact statements only to be addressed to the court. Some judges will allow victim impact statements to be directed to the defendant, to the convicted at that point. It just depends on the judge, and I don't know how they figure that out, if there's laws or whatever. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know, but they need to have time for that. And especially if there's people that need to travel, get off of work, et cetera, et cetera. So he's not going to have a pre-sentence investigation. So it should be fairly straightforward. But we want to make sure that we give the victims time to process, because I don't think they were expecting this trial to be as short as it ended up being. But it was. So, they need time to process. I mean, we were even like reeling from the verdict a little bit. It's not that it's hard, because it's not celebratory for me anyway.
Mm-mm.
I don't celebrate verdicts like this, because like I said, it's hollow. It's a hollow victory. Harmony's gone. And what she suffered in such a short time. I mean, she was 5, she's just a little tiny pixie, just here for just a short time, leaving, her glitter and, that smile, and just, it's sad. It breaks my heart. This never should have happened. And it keeps happening.
Her sparkles.
And her little sparkles. Yes. Just her little pixie sparkles. She's just adorable. And all of the kids are.
Yeah.
And they robbed the world of her potential, just like Letitia robbed the world of Gannon's potential. We don't know what he was going to do. We don't know what Harmony would have done. And it makes me mad. And I also want to say this. Go ahead. No. You go ahead, because I'm about to be on a whole soapbox. So I want you to say what you want to say.
Okay. I was just going to say, they don't feel celebratory. This one was particularly even less than usual, just because we know that, number one, second-degree murder. Number two, he's not the only one that needs to be there. He was already in jail for life, and but I wanted to say, like, I'm so glad we're doing this. And I thought about you, Jen, and all of you guys last night, because after I crashed really hard early, I woke up in the middle of the night and I couldn't go back to sleep. And I was watching all of these after trial interviews and stuff like that. And it was just last night was the first time that it truly really hit me in the gut, all of it. Listening to I couldn't stop thinking about every detail and about Harmony and just everything. It was just an emotion, a super emotional moment for me. And I know that you guys go through that stuff too, watching, and you, Jen. And I don't know, I hadn't had that yet. For Gannon's trial, I felt like I was there for a long time. And this one, it hadn't hit me yet. And last night. So I don't know. It's just tough. It's tough to go through. It's emotional. An emotional process for everybody.
It is. Hey, MK Lynn. He says hi to you too, Mute Queen.
Hey, MK Lynn. That's what he said. Hey, Jen.
He said hi, Jen Lou and Mute Queen. See? Are you on your phone?
Yes, but I just wasn't looking. I didn't have
okay.
the chat. It was a little behind. I hadn't seen it yet, but I'm looking on the
Gotcha.
StreamYard guest app. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate that so much. Welcome to the ward. All right. So before, listen, y'all need to be clicking that link. I really want to hear what you guys have to say. I know what, I mean, you guys hear me all the time. Let's hear some new people. This is what I want to say. I read a couple of comments the other day. I think it was yesterday. And they were not mean. They were not harsh or anything like that. And I don't want anybody to think that, especially because if it was your comment. But it actually put things into perspective for me. And I wanted to acknowledge that. Basically, what these two commenters pointed out is that us on the panel, me, Allie, I think Sleuth Mom and Lynn were on the panel, but mainly I think it was me because I'm the one that said it the most. We had really high expectations, and we were not taking into consideration that nobody was looking for harmony for like 2 years. And so there wasn't going to be a whole lot of evidence. And I have to acknowledge that they were both right. I did have very high expectations. I had high expectations because the arrest affidavit was so long. It had so much more. It had so much information. It contained more information than I've seen in a arrest affidavit for a long time, or probable cause affidavit, whatever you want to call it, than I've seen in a long time. And so I thought, if this is the bare minimum required to get to secure an arrest. I have to say this really quick. Thank you, Psycho Cunt, for being a member for 2 months. I appreciate that. My favorite. Anyway, I thought that when it came time to trial, and I'm not necessarily saying that I expected forensic evidence, because I recognize that it had been 2 years. But I thought when Kayla took the stand, that as awful as the testimony was going to be, right? And as, hearing what Harmony went through and how I felt like there would be resolution in knowing what happened to her. And unfortunately, Kayla being Kayla, for whatever reason, whether it's I don't even know. It doesn't really even matter. Whatever the reason was that her testimony was the way that it was. And I didn't feel like there was any real resolution. And I was
you're right.
critical, and I feel I don't want it to be misconstrued. My criticism really wasn't there were some parts I didn't understand what the state was doing, but I think that they did a good job. It's just, there was no resolution for me. And I just am having a hard time reconciling with that. So,
Harlot's mom, Harlot said Harlot's mom. I was reading between Harlot Oscara, and Mayla's mom. So I'm sorry. Harlot said, she said a similar thing. Because I remember it was I guess when Teresa was on with us on my channel, she had put in the chat, like, remember, there was 2 years, the investigation would have usually been going, that it wasn't. And I do agree with that. And there's definitely a lot of missed evidence because of that. But Jen, I think because, one, like you said, the PCA had so much. There were many things that weren't even brought up in trial that were mentioned in the PCA. And, I think that we're used to seeing, it's just making me question Idaho, though. It's like we're used to seeing a PCA with a small amount of information. Then we move on, usually to like a preliminary hearing, pretrial hearing, whatever it's called. And you do, a little more evidence and a little, to move on to the trial. And then you get to the trial and there's more, right? And there's stuff that you hadn't heard about, or they bring on home points that weren't necessarily made before. And this was like the opposite. They put, more things in the PCA than they brought out in the trial. And there were even things that they could have brought up. I think the most disappointing part was there were some things that were in, the PCA or in other things that they potentially could have brought up pretty easily and just added to their case, and they didn't. So, but you're right. You got to keep that in mind, that 2 years, that's a long time.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard. There's just not. Thank you, MD 2020, for becoming a member. Welcome to the ward. It's just, there's no, it's hard. This one was, I knew this one was going to be hard. I prepared myself for difficult testimony. And while we did get difficult testimony, I wasn't prepared to be still like having so many questions. I know that there's always questions, at the end of a trial or whatever, but, I just didn't expect it to be like this. And at the end of the day, Adam Montgomery won't ever be able to hurt anybody else, another child, ever again. And that has to be enough. Kayla, whatever's going to happen with her is going to happen with her. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if they have enough to prove, I don't know what they're going to do with her. What, babe?
And what about the mystery, this tipper? I mean, will we ever know more about that?
I feel like I don't know, to be honest with you. Because I don't know how we would go back, how we would even go about like requesting that, if we even could. I don't know if
maybe they'll speak up.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it will definitely be part of the case file. It will get added to the case file, even though it came during the trial. It will still, it's still part of the case file. So I suppose in that aspect, we might be able to request it and get access to it, but I don't know. I don't know, because again, so you can give a FOIA request, but at the end of the day, it's really up to law enforcement, the judge, prosecutors. It's up to the state what they deem to be in the public's best interest. And so I don't know. I don't know if they will if they'll deem that in the public's best interest. And I kind of am thinking, if they did deem it if they were to ever release it as part of the case file, it would be redacted. So we would, which is fine. I only want to know what information they had. I don't need to know who they were. I'm not trying to, look them up or anything like that. That doesn't matter to me. I just want to know what the information was, just because I'm curious. Let me help you here. Let me drop the membership link. But I was going to, now, before I do this next thing, I just want to say this. There is a person who emailed me, and I was very excited for this person to come on the panel, and yet this person has not clicked the link. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But I was thinking maybe Crystal spoke out. Well, I was excited for this person to come up on the panel. You know, this is an interesting question. I think manslaughter, if I had to guess why the lead detective didn't testify, is because in this case, the truth of the matter is, it really came down to Kayla. If they had not had Kayla's testimony, what would the lead detective have been able to present? Let's think about what he would talk about. He could have gotten up there and testified that he did interview Adam. We saw it, and it wasn't productive. He interviewed Kayla, also not productive until she was ready for it to be productive. And what else? He could talk about where the searches for that they did with, the sewers. I think that might be why there was really nothing that I don't know what he could have added to it, because it was all kind of out. You know what I mean? I do think it's interesting, though. Usually the lead detective does ask questions, or testify, but they didn't this time. All right. So, Crystal gave an interview, I think, and I want to play this really quickly, and then I will bring up the person who is backstage. So please hold. Here we go.
Yay. Okay.
To the prosecution, I was out here speaking with Harmony Montgomery's biological mother. When word came down that that verdict was in, we both ran inside that courtroom, which was packed with law enforcement as well as relatives of Crystal Sorey, Harmony's mother. But before that verdict came down, we were just having a discussion about how much time has passed in this case. It was New Year's Eve of 2021 when we first heard the name Harmony Montgomery, and that was because Crystal Sorey started to raise the alarm after she says Adam Montgomery cut off all contact with her. She told us that she last saw her daughter over a video chat Easter of 2019, and she became worried and started to reach out to the police department, to the Manchester mayor's office. She even said during this trial that she told her therapist, anyone who was a mandated reporter, to try to get the help that she could get to find her daughter. And I was talking to Crystal about the trial. She had to sit through some pretty difficult information about what happened to her daughter, especially after she died, and what prosecutors said Adam Montgomery did with the little girl's body. She said it was very difficult to sit through that testimony. I also ran into Crystal Sorey after that verdict was over, and she told us that she is relieved to hear that the jury found Adam guilty on all charges.
Finally feel relieved, that there's some justice being served. Obviously it's not over, but I have a little bit of peace knowing that he's being held accountable because he thought he was so untouchable and that she didn't matter and nobody would miss her. And he was so wrong. He was so wrong.
And Crystal Sorey tells us, although this trial is over, her nightmare continues. She said she still is fighting to find the remains of her daughter so she can finally bring her home and give her the proper burial that she deserves. At the beginning of this trial, there were 17 jurors, 14 women, 3 men. It all came down to 10 women and 2 men to make the decision on this verdict. The jurors have left the courthouse. They left just a few minutes ago. I stopped to speak with some of them, but they told us, Gene, that they did not have any comment at this time.
All right, so let me do this really quick. And I will bring up, come on, there we go. Hey, oh, excuse me. Hello.
Hello?
How are you? What's going on?
Did I have my earbuds in? Hello?
We can hear you.
Hello?
We can hear you.
Hello.
Hello? Can
Hello?
anybody
Can you hear us?
I can barely hear you. Am I doing something? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Can you not hear us?
We can
It's
hear you
very
good.
quiet. I had my earbuds
We can
in.
hear you just fine. Maybe go. I don't know. Maybe go out and come back in because we can hear you just fine, or I can.
Or
Okay. What?
take out the earbuds if that doesn't work, because sometimes the earbuds are they make it like they just make sound funky unless they're like a really expensive pair. I've learned that.
Yeah. Well, I was while I was backstage earlier, I was hearing some what I thought might have been like a reverby thing, and I thought the earbuds were the cause.
You sound
Yeah, we
great.
can
Are we
hear
still
you just
quiet?
fine.
Okay, well that's fine then. I mean,
Okay.
if you're okay, I'm okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Get
you
the
sound
fuck out of
great.
here! I can't
How are
believe I'm
you?
talking to fucking General and Alex. Get the fuck out of here! I'm such a total
Aw.
fucking fangirl. Oh my god!
Aw.
I'm
You
so
are so
honored.
sweet.
Oh, okay. Let me do real quick. You guys
Okay.
are
Yes.
initially found Jen Lu with Dr. B, and then oh my god, and then found Alex. I think kind of individually, but then kind of at the same time. It was like Reese's peanut butter cups. Two great tastes that taste great together. And
I
I
love
love
that.
your content. I love your intelligence and your heart. And Jen, I, I've asked you in prior days, why aren't you in fucking law school? Why haven't you gotten your degree? You are so much smarter. And I'm telling you this, I work as a court reporter, right? And and for a grand jury. So I see this stuff all day long. And the
Aw.
prosecutors, which are fabulous, fabulous, hardworking, for the most part, truly sincere people, like they're trying to do a very good job, and they are very fair. But fucking smart they are, both you guys. I mean, really, really,
Thank
truly.
you.
Oh, it's an honor. I
Thank
can't
you.
believe I'm on your show.
It's an honor for me to have you guys up here. It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. Thank
And
you
we're
so
fans.
much.
You say all that, and I feel like we're fans of you guys too. So I'm just so excited that you're up here too. And thank you for coming up. And Tess, thank you for coming up too.
Tess,
It's
hello.
Hi. I apologize. It took a minute for me to understand how to do this kind of thing.
No, but you're doing just great. Both
Well,
of you are.
Thank you.
Yeah, perfect. Not a professional like that. No, we're not either. And what
Correct.
did you write? Hey, you, Jin Lu.
Are you kidding me? You
I
guys
mean,
with the you guys have your graphics. I mean, because I know the hard work the actual physical labor it's got to take forever. You put together your editing, your production. It's just amazing. I mean, it's just amazing. And you're both like you're self-taught, right? Like you're not professional. Yeah.
No,
fucking
I'm
amazing.
not professional at anything except for shit talking.
Well, you're a prodigy. You're a prodigy shit talker, man. You really are. And hey, you know what? As long as if the shit makes sense, talk it up. I'm telling you, give it to me because I love it. But I mean, really, because
You're a
I
talented
can
shit
tell you
talker.
this. I can tell you this. Your logic, and when you're fired up, when you're watching, when you're involved in a hearing, like with Letitia, whatever your commentaries or whatever. When you get fired up, it's like, oh boy, here it goes. Right? Because I mean, your logic, your reasoning is spot on. There's nothing faulty there, right? I mean, you connect the dots, and it's
Thank you.
it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
Thank you
Both
so
of you
much.
guys.
Oh, you're making me blush.
Oh, and Alex, you too. Alex, you're God, what a beautiful soul, right? You're just the most like effervescent and open. There's not a secret, right? there's only sincerity there. Love you guys so much. I'm sorry. Okay, Shut up there.
Oh, I love you back so
Oh,
much, and
thank you
thank you
so
for
much.
coming
Love
up.
you guys too. Thank you for coming up. I was so worried. I was not gonna call you out by name, Tess, because I don't do stuff like that, you know.
I'm sorry.
But no. But I was super excited because you wrote such an eloquent email, and I'm sorry that mine was so short back. I was in the
No.
middle of doing something else too, and I'm really I
Stop
really
that.
want to try to get these next parts of the documentary back to back. I don't want you guys watching part one and then 72 months later part two. You know what I'm saying? Like that's rude, and so I'm like pushing myself.
It really is a lot of work. I've been helping Allie put together a cold case thing, and mine's like what, 2 minutes long, and it's taken me forever. So I can't imagine having a long one. Very long.
Yeah, Tess has been doing a lot of work on putting together. She wanted to talk about Haley Cummings, and so she's
Oh.
put together like a whole presentation, photos. I mean, she's thought about everything. I can't believe it. She's doing a really great job, and
I
we're
taught
probably going
myself
to do
to
that pretty
edit.
soon. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm so proud of you.
And I learned how to do Canva all alone. I'm like, see, I'm not old anymore. I'm young.
Right? Seriously,
amazing.
seriously, when you take on a challenge like that, and the growth is like, it's monumental every day. It's like,
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
She'll be back.
Ooh.
She'll be back. I'm proud of you, Tessie. It's Canva, all that stuff, it took me a minute to get used to it or whatever, but once you get used to it, you get used to it. And then you're
Right.
ready to do new things. I told Allie I'm going to have her she's on the CapCut and the Canva, and by the end of all this I'm going to have her doing the After Effects and all the things. As soon as I figure
See?
out the After Effects. That one I'm having a little bit of a struggle with, those dadgum After Effects, but that one's a little bit difficult. But yeah. So
I bought some
Christine,
software. I don't
how
know what
are
it is
you?
though.
Oh, I'm
You
doing
don't know
really
what?
well. How are you ladies doing tonight?
Hey,
Can you
Pretty
hear
doing
me?
good.
well.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
Oh,
we can
Hey.
hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yes. You guys sound fabulous. And first and foremost, I just want to thank both of you for your content. And I watch every night and every episode you put out, and it's like listening to friends, and it's just I I gain a lot of knowledge about the court system through both of you, and I really appreciate. I found your channel, Alex, with the Gannon trial, and you both have a lot of integrity, and your laughter is infectious during hard times, and I appreciate it so much.
Oh, thank you, Christine. And I'm so glad that you're here.
Oh, thank you.
I just had one
I'm so
comment. Oh, thank you. I'm
okay.
glad
Let's
I'm here
hear it.
too.
We're
As
so
you
glad
know,
you guys are coming up here. We want to hear from y'all. So hit it. Let me hear it.
Yes.
okay, my first question is, why did Adam admit to those 2 counts of like dismembering her body, basically? Or there were 2 counts.
Oh,
Did he admit to
where
them,
he can
or
no, he conceded. So basically they still had to find him guilty on those, which is what we listened to when the jury read the verdicts. They still had to find him guilty. But
right?
basically he sort of agreed that, yeah, I did it, but he didn't actually plead to it.
Right.
I
He like verbally
suspect,
admitted it.
yes, or he allowed his attorneys to say in their opening statements, listen, Adam did this and this, but he did not do them. He's not the one who took her life. And I, for the life of me, cannot figure out what the legal strategy would have been. to concede to something like that, particularly
Exactly.
because A, he was a no-show throughout court, and B, he didn't testify. And typically when you so his defense is what's they call an alternate suspect, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And normally you wouldn't always have to expect, or you wouldn't always want to hear from the defendant when they use an alternate suspect defense, but in this case, because it was really only Adam and Kayla, right, I think the jury did want to hear from Adam. I do. I can't wrap my brain around it made no legal sense to me. I've never seen any of that. I've never seen anybody do that. I don't get it. So the long Miss America answer aside, the short answer is I don't fucking know. I have no idea what he was thinking, or more to the
Can I tell
point,
you?
what his lawyers were thinking.
Okay.
Can,
What
can
do
I
you
tell you what
think,
I
Allie?
think? I believe because
Absolutely.
he had to. Okay, I got a delay. I'm so sorry. And the chat's already told me I have a delay, so I apologize. But actually, I'll come back in and out. I think my internet has hit like that point because I'm like 29 days and it's starting to slow down for the last like day or two because I've hit the point. But anyways, what I think is that he had to, because he wants to blame Kayla. He wants to claim that Kayla knows more like, if you remember that motion that was put out before the trial, I was telling you guys, like, something's weird here because he's literally admitting Kayla knows more about her disposal. So he's admitting that she's deceased. But that was literally the only strategy they had left. It was all strategy, in my opinion. And it was just a way for him to try to flip Kayla's story on her head and say, yes, some of it's true, but she's done more than she said. And it was like his last resort.
Alex, I'm totally with you because I had an incident with a career criminal, and they do not admit to anything unless there's something to gain.
Yep,
And
exactly.
I believe that's what happened with him. And then also with it, didn't one of you mention there were like 200 witnesses or that were
Yeah,
or
it was. Yes, it was a very long. Hang on, just 1 second. Michelle, she's still around. She's still around. She comes in chats every once in a while. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
But
she's
yeah, it
still
was
around,
just
babe.
whittled down.
Sorry.
So at first they put out like 200 potential witnesses, and then they and I believe they said it was like either half or 3/4. It was like a huge percentage of the police force in New Hampshire, the state police
okay.
force. But they whittled it down, I guess, into less. They didn't need that much, and then they continued to whittle it down. And I think that's pretty typical, don't you think, Jen? Usually it'll be a longer list than what they actually call. There's always like a few on
Yes,
there that,
yes, and I think that. Hold on a second. Let me type this out. Um, I'm asking Sleuth Mom to come up and explain this custody. I can't see what I'm typing either, so now I'm making all kinds of mistakes. Here we go. Hold on, just sorry.
Because basically all the people who testified, they had a criminal past or were former drug users, and
yeah,
the defense was going to use that to their advantage, in my opinion.
Yeah,
yeah, I
well,
agree.
here's the thing. I mean, I wasn't all that shocked that that's who was testifying, because I mean, when you because of the lifestyle that Kayla and Adam lived, right? So of course the
Exactly.
people they associated with, but I think that the state, when Adam conceded to two of the charges, I think that the state changed tacks and realized, okay, I don't think that we need I don't think that we need these, all of these people to come up. I think that they, and rightly so, were probably worried about Kayla's testimony. A lot of the evidence, if you'll notice, they put her on first because after that there were people except for Crystal. But as far as because but as far as what actually happened, a witness to the crime, as it were, um, they put Kayla on first and then subsequently other people so that the evidence that they then put on the witnesses backed up some of the things that Kayla had said, and then the forensic evidence, the ceiling tiles, etc., backed up what she said as well. I think they were sweating Kayla's testimony, and they should have.
Yep, agree.
Last question. I'm sorry, did I
Okay.
interrupt?
No, babe, you are
No,
fine.
no.
All right. My last question was, why didn't anyone testify for the defense? Was Adam scheduled to testify, or?
So, okay, a lot of people don't know this, but the truth of the matter is, when a trial takes place, the defense is not required to present anything. The burden is solely on the state. The defense can do just exactly what they did, which is to rest. They do not have to put on a case. And they typically don't decide. Well, I mean, obviously there's talks between the defense and their client about potentially testifying. Most defense attorneys will say, hell no. But there are specific cases where, a self-defense case, the jury is going to want to hear from the defendant. And that is a very dicey proposition. But after the state rests, the judge will then speak to the defendant and explain their rights. They don't have to take the stand if they don't want to. They're not required to, and that there will be something said to the jury that the defendant doesn't have to take the stand, and you should not infer anything if the defendant does not take the stand. So I don't understand why they went with the defense that they went with and presented no evidence. I don't see how they felt like they did enough at chipping away at Kayla's story. That's just what I think. But what do you guys think?
I think there's a peen in the back chat. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was not the right time.
I love it, and it's in all caps too. That's my favorite.
You didn't even put up the peen blocker. What if I was really a peen?
Because
Come
I can scream you through YouTube.
Oh man. So what was your question
Or
about
through
the custody?
StreamYard,
I'm
you know
sorry,
what I
I
mean.
totally missed it. Yeah, I got you.
Dang it! I thought you were
Okay.
gonna be like Gypsy and want the fire D.
The peen
You
and
got to
fire.
do it right, girls. You got to do it like she does. The D is fire. Like she does. She's so gross.
I'm not that cool.
You can't tell my shine. That D is fire. Oh, crazy gypsy.
Well, that is all I had to contribute. And thank you again, ladies, so much. And I just enjoy every show. So I'm very grateful to you both. And all your
Thank
fans.
you. We're
And I'm a
grateful to
fangirl as
you.
well.
Oh, love
Right.
it. Thank you so much. We're grateful to have you.
Yes.
Thank you,
so much.
guys.
Have a good night.
You too.
Good night. Thanks for coming up.
Sleuth's mom said, "What was your question?" And before you ask her, I just want to answer Nana. She said, "Okay, what's a peen?" And it's the reason people say that is seriously because sometimes people will try to have a stream taken down and they will say when there's an open panel, click the link and go up and flash their private parts, and the stream will they'll have to take it down, because if not, you're going to break terms of service. So that's
You
what
can't
it is.
even,
And
yeah, you can't even private it. You can private it, and if you know exactly where it is and you were early in the stream and they did it, then you can edit it out. But if it's a long stream, it's best just to say F it and delete it. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And it's and just for the record, I don't even know what the point of doing that is. It's like taking a picture of a nice car, right? I can see that a car looks nice. I don't know anything about that car. I don't know what kind of maintenance that car has had. I don't know whether or not the transmission runs. I don't know if I'm going to start that thing up and it's going to take me, 5 minutes down the road, 2 minutes
oh
down the
God.
road and dump me. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell nothing from that. It's a big fat waste of time. That's all I got to say about that. I'm becoming up here and showing us that. Nobody needs it.
Yeah, and then the reason that I ask about Sleuth Mom's question before yours, Tess, or before we talk to you, is only because I
I
think
can
she's
wait
working.
as long
Okay.
as possible.
Okay.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah,
Well, I
sorry.
can't wait to hear from you.
I'm
But
in
yeah, I think
No,
she's
no,
at
don't
work.
apologize.
Okay.
So what were you asking though about the custody? I'm sorry. I totally missed that.
So there was a comment in the chat, and they want the specifics about the custody situation about the narrative and all of that, like that's been going around Vinnie Politan and, all the things. They wanted clarification about the situation as it pertains to the hearing. You know what I'm talking about? What we talked about the other night on up here too.
Yeah, okay, let me go back to my chat because I don't want to say it wrong. And
Okay.
I'm just gonna, what's her name? Crystal. I'm like, holy smokes, I almost called her Kayla. Oh my God. So Crystal has been saying, pretty frequently since the beginning that she was at Jameson's adoption at the time of Harmony's hearing to go be with Adam, right? However, that's not true. Jameson was not adopted until November. Harmony's hearing to go with Adam was February of 2019. And so, hold on. Give me 1 second. I got to go, Mom, for 1 second.
There was a hearing that day, though, correct? In the paperwork for the state of Massachusetts, it says that there was a hearing she was at, but it wasn't the adoption hearing. I think that's where everyone's getting confused.
Right. So
Okay.
Jameson's dads are very much so, they want to make it clear that it had nothing to do with his adoption. The issue was, so Harmony had a hearing, I can't remember if it was in the morning or in the afternoon, and Jameson had one opposite. Let me go back to the messages. That's what I was going to go look for.
And didn't her attorney go to both?
Yes, Crystal Sorey's attorney
Okay.
was able to attend both hearings, and so therefore there should have been no reason why Crystal Sorey also was not able to attend both hearings. So Jameson met with the Millers in June and was adopted in November. The hearing was February 8th of 2019. That was for when DCF was taking permanent custody of Jameson after he had been in foster care for a long time with Harmony for several months. Crystal had not been following her plan to get the children back at that point and had not been attending her visits. And so the state was terminating parental rights for Jameson and taking him. And then Harmony that same day was being given back to Adam, basically. That's the day that they made that fateful decision. So that morning, Harmony was Harmony's, I think. I gotta scroll down, sorry. There's so many different messages back and forth. So Jameson's was in the morning, I'm sorry, in Suffolk County, and Harmony's was after lunch in Essex County. And so she could have been able to attend both, right? She could have been able to go to both. Her lawyers were able to attend both. She didn't. She sent her lawyer on her behalf to Harmony's. Jameson's was in the morning. It was first, and they continued it. She wasn't even there for very long if she attended that one. because it was continued. The lawyer requested for it to be continued. And then they went to the Essex County one for Essex County for Harmonies. And that's whenever Crystal's lawyer on her behalf advocated for Harmony to go with Adam, because Crystal and Adam at that time frame, according to the Millers, was getting along. And so she was able to still see Harmony via Adam. Does that make sense? Sorry. I'm like trying to get it all in my head while my husband's like, getting the kids down to bed. And so it's like
It
really
makes
scattered. I apologize.
no, you're making perfect sense, I think.
I was blown away. In that paperwork, it says that she was giving Harmony to Adam without permission from the state. And they kept telling her, you need to have someone document this. And Crystal 3 or 4 times let Harmony stay over with Adam without permission.
Correct.
I read
Yeah.
that today. I could not believe that.
She violated the order multiple times.
Over and over and over.
And if you ask Crystal, though, she was terrified of Adam. He was a monster and all of these things. But
Right.
she continuously violated the care plans. And that's part of why she lost the kids at one point, was because she
Right.
was not following the agreements for whenever she had the kids. And so that was a big part of things. But she did advocate for Harmony to go with Adam. And that's why I think if she goes through with this lawsuit, she's not going to have any weight, because at the end of the day, DCYF actually opposed Adam getting Harmony. They never once said that it was a good idea. Unfortunately,
it was the judge, right?
Harmony's guardian ad litem, Adam's lawyer, and Crystal's lawyer all showed up that day and advocated for Harmony to go to Adam. And then DCYF said, no, he hasn't done a home study. He hasn't completed his visits. He hasn't done all of the things. She shouldn't go there. And the judge sided against DCYF and with Crystal's lawyer, Adam's lawyer, and the guardian ad litem.
He hadn't done anything really, correct? I mean, like,
no, 40 hours. He spent 40 hours total with Harmony over a 4-year period.
It's unreal. When I was reading it in black and white today, it sent me for a loop, because like, how is this possible? You know, it's so infuriating.
Yeah. But I think at the end of the day, Crystal doesn't want people to look at her like she's some monster. A lot of people didn't even know that she had lost custody of Jameson, because the Millers had that open communication, right? And so they were still sending her pictures. They were still sending her update. And she would post those pictures as if she still had Jameson. And so there was a lot of people who were friends with her on Facebook, or who were her family members even, who had no freaking clue that she even lost custody of Jameson, and thought that Harmony was just living with her dad. Before all of this came out, that's whenever Crystal got exposed for not having custody of Jameson, the minute that the Millers started speaking out.
And they gave her multiple chances for that too. I didn't, seeing it in perspective in black and white is a lot different than when you see it portrayed to you in a courtroom or on a court TV show. It's just a lot different. 6 or 7 times she went back and forth at the beginning when Harmony was a baby, correct? Over and over and over. And she kept failing the drug test and failing the drug test and left treatment and failed the drug test and left treatment. I'm not blaming her whatsoever. This wasn't her fault. But at the beginning, she played a part in not being there for Harmony.
Right. And I think one of the things is, the Millers just wanted to be clear that Jameson being quote unquote protected by Crystal and her having to be there for Crystal, it had nothing to do. It had nothing to do with Jameson, right? That Harmony's death, Harmony going with Adam, and they want that to be clear. And they've actually corrected Vinny. They actually have. And they've corrected the people at Court TV. Blair has a pull with them, being a fellow newscaster and things like that. He has talked to them. He has talked to the people at Court TV. And Vinny did clear it up at one point while they were all speaking and got it cleared up. But, the story sells better if it's this tragic situation where this poor mom was fighting for the custody and was trying to be in attention to, one kid's adoption, and she lost custody of the other because of it and stuff like that. That sells better. And so it's tragic.
Choose.
Yep.
She was forced to choose, but between her two children, and she did, and look what happened.
Yep.
I'm shocked at the guardian ad litem that the guardian Cutie Pie asked the guardian ad litem advocated for Adam, and I can't wrap my
Yeah.
brain around that. I don't see, and I know people are get upset with the judge, okay,
Mm-hmm.
but the judge in these cases, the judge doesn't physically go out to these homes, and this is the way our system is. They rely on the guardian ad litem. They rely on social workers from whether you have what it's DCYS or whatever it is, or CPS or whatever. They rely on them and the guardian ad litem is the spokesperson for the child.
Right.
They're the
Right.
ones that interview the child. They spend the most time with it, more than CPS, more than DCYS, FS. They are the voice for the child. And so I'm just shocked that
Well,
person. I'm really curious, and I wonder how much will come out should she pursue
I think
this.
Mm-hmm.
I think people should be upset with the judge. Jen, I get what you're
Oh, I
saying, like
agree.
the guardian ad litem too. Yeah, but the judge, I mean, didn't listen to CPS. And think about this. This was not just a thing that, like, the guardian ad litem in this case probably met Harmony when the custody stuff started. CPS has been in her life since day one.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, 2
And
different
yeah,
states, but yeah, I mean, there should
yeah,
there
but yeah,
that's where the issue is, and that's what Blair and Jonathan are trying to fix, right?
even
They want the openness between states because right now, DCYF from one state does not communicate with DCYF from another. And that's the
right,
biggest problem. If you have, 27 calls like we seen on the case I was talking about earlier today, 27 CPS calls for Dennis Vaughn, case that I talked about, also in New Hampshire, 27 calls before he was murdered.
I went down that rabbit
oh
hole
my
today too.
God,
Oh my
that is
freaking goodness.
unbelievable.
Within 2
Well,
weeks of
here's the
Harmony.
thing.
And so it makes you wonder, like, why don't they communicate beyond state lines? Why doesn't that information follow you from state to state? And so that's part of what they want fixed.
I mean,
It
it
should, but
should.
also, especially since Harmony was in foster care almost, from as a baby. So
Mhm.
even, I don't know, that just blows my mind that even the CPS worker that was there for that didn't play a role, but even the foster moms, and you know what I mean? I don't know. It's really unfortunate. I
Yeah.
heard down the rabbit hole news though talk about how she used to work for CPS, and she said something about they've tried to have an interstate program for a long time that would
Mhm.
like people could go from state to state, but there's all these privacy issues that come up and different things like that, and then they, of course, even HIPAA, but other privacy issues too, and it's just, I don't know how to fix it. I don't know what you
I'm
do.
so confused how HIPAA applies to custody.
Right.
HIPAA is
I
for
don't know.
healthcare professionals.
Yeah,
I'm
but
not
I
bound
don't
by,
know.
well, I
I'd
was.
say some of the stuff in the CPS records is healthcare records, is what it
Yeah,
is,
but
something
the
like that.
only people that are bound to HIPAA are people who handle those records on a regular basis. I don't know. I just feel
Right.
like I don't listen. Don't mistake what I'm saying. HIPAA is actually a good thing. But I
But
think
not whenever it comes to this. Yeah.
correct. I think that it's an overreach when it comes to stuff
If
like
my
this.
if my
And I
neighbors
think
are
it's
teaching their kids, and people are calling, I should be able to look and see, like, hey, I need to keep a better eye on these kids next door because, if they come up missing someday because they've been getting abused this whole time, like, we should be able to see
Mhm.
that about the people around us. And so I don't agree with privacy whenever it comes to the system. But I do just want to clarify one more time because I see Pointer Lover and Harlot Oscara still kind of going back and forth. And so the issue is that Crystal keeps saying that it was the adoption hearing. There was a hearing on February the 8th for both children. One was for Harmony, one was for Jameson. One was in Suffolk County, one was in Essex County. One was in the morning before lunch, the other was after lunch. Crystal's lawyer went to both hearings. Jameson's was in the morning, Jameson's was continued. That's it. Whenever you go in and they continue a hearing, it takes less than 5 minutes, right? These courthouses are about, I think I Googled it, it was like 27 minutes away from each other. She could have went to Harmony's hearing. She chose not to go to Harmony's hearing. Period. Point blank. You cannot sit there. It wasn't across the state. It wasn't, 300 miles away. Her attorney made it to both. There's no reason, in my opinion, that Crystal did not make it to both.
And
So,
even if she had went, she was they were advocating for Harmony to go with Adam. So
She was
it
giving
doesn't matter.
Harmony to Adam
Right.
without them knowing on weekends. So
Right.
clearly she was okay with it.
She was already okay with it. And the only reason that this continues to be an issue is because Crystal keeps bringing this up and using it as her excuse over and over again. Because if you ask her, Adam was a monster, Adam beat her, he did all of these horrible things. And then whenever people say, well, why did you advocate for your daughter to go with him? She's like, I didn't have a choice because I had to be with Jameson's adoption. And that's the thing. She is presenting it as if she had no choice other than to try to protect Jameson or protect Harmony, and she protected Jameson instead. And it's not the case, right? And that's the narrative that the Millers want to squash. She could have been there. It had nothing to do with Jameson. River, this information can only be proven with the documents that the Millers have. And that is why, they are the only people that can really dispel this rumor, because these documents, as you guys were just discussing, are closed. And so she has gotten away with saying this narrative time and time and time again, because she knows that the Millers are the only people who can call her out. And they did officially call her out on Twitter. Just recently, there was a post that they shared saying, and I can read that to you. Hold on. But saying that there was no biological family at Jameson's adoption, period. And then obviously they have communicated with me the rest of the information in text messages and things like that. But let me pull it up.
Just while you're pulling that up, and to give her a little grace, I am sure that the shame and the guilt of her decision haunt her, to the end of time. I'm sure that will be something that she carries heavily on her heart and in her mind forever. And that's all.
But okay,
and I have sympathy for her, but that doesn't, you have to own up to your responsibility in what happens and what she did. And I'm going to pause because my dog has another dryer sheet. I'll be back.
Look at this is nothing to do with bashing his mom. This has to do with correcting the untruths. If telling the truth about a situation is considered bashing his mom, that is not what I'm doing. I am trying to clear up the facts. Do I agree with Crystal? Absolutely not. I don't. I can't help that. But this has nothing to do with my personal feelings to Crystal, right? This is bigger than that. This is some little boy looking back on this case someday and wanting to know the details of what happened to his sister and hitting the internet and looking for answers. And then this getting spun, this narrative that it was his fault that his sister was with her. That's not okay. So this is the Twitter post. I have it if you want to share screen.
Oh, yes, babe. Oh, look, you came. Here comes Sleuth Mom with the receipts.
Sleuth Mom, I wasn't saying that. You know that, right? I was just trying to, be like.
No.
Okay, I wasn't saying. I hope you know that. Okay. I don't think. I think she needs to be accountable for what she did. I just imagine that the guilt is unbearable. And that could be why she's transferring.
Oh, for sure. And no, I wasn't talking about you, Tess. I was talking about Harlot Oscara said in the chat, so clarifying this information, or do you really want to people bashing his mother? It has nothing to do with that. I don't listen. She has gone through enough. She will have to live with this for the rest of her life. That's on her. But don't put this in a situation where it makes it look like Jameson was the one that she was trying to protect and that it's somehow his fault that Harmony ended up in this situation. And that's what they're trying to put to end, right? That's it. And so they wrote on Twitter, and this is a screenshot posted on the community wall. It says Harmony and Jameson continue to be victimized. We cannot allow that to happen. It's important that we share this information. Please let me explain. Jameson's adoption was in November of 2019, long after the courts awarded Adam custody of Harmony, which others agreed to. It was a deadly mistake. Present at Jameson's adoption was our family and our friends from Boston. Jameson had no biological family present at his adoption. As Jameson's dads, Blair and I think it's important to correct this information. He continues to love and miss his sister dearly. When he's old enough to read all of this information, we never want him to think Harmony was not protected because someone was at a trial trying to protect him. That's not factual. Again, his adoption was November of 2019. His biological mother had a court date in August of 2019 to relinquish her rights prior to Jameson's adoption, which was also several months after Harmony's fateful court date. DCF had already placed Jameson on the adoption track prior to this date. I hope you understand the importance of why my husband and I need to correct this misinformation for both Jameson and Harmony. This is something that over 2 years ago, we attempted to correct on my channel and in my Facebook group and things like that. The Millers have now come out and put it on Twitter themselves, right? Because we were trying to hush the claims without them necessarily coming out and publicly speaking against her or making her look bad or whatever. But now she's getting all this press and attention on court TV. They don't want this narrative being replayed over and over and over again for Jameson to see someday. And so I messaged him after this happened, and I can share the messages if you guys really want me to. And I said, listen, the court date in February, what was that? I couldn't remember the exact details. And Jonathan laid the exact details out for me again, about Essex County, Suffolk County, the hearing being continued and things like that. But again, no, Crystal, and I'm not saying that Crystal had a way of knowing this would happen. I mean, I don't think anybody ever goes into a situation, Harlot, thinking, oh my God, I'm going to put my child with this man and, he's going to kill her. You know what I mean?
I think the point is this.
Mhm.
I think what the Millers are worried about is that if this narrative continues where Crystal was in a situation where she had to choose one, she could only go to one court appearance, okay? And she chose Jameson's. Children, when they read things, it depends on how old he would be when he read this. I mean, but children tend to internalize things. And it's what they're trying to stop from happening is from Jameson to find this and think that it's true and internalize that potentially, right? And feel like my mom had to choose between me and Harmony ended up dead. I think that's what the point is. It's not about Crystal did something, didn't do something, is something, isn't something. I think they're just trying to protect their son. And I will tell you guys this. Look up Diane Downs' daughter that she was pregnant with when she went to trial for the murder of her children, okay? That child, that young lady grew up and she was, I don't know, like 12 maybe, and a group of her friends just figured out who she was. I do not remember exactly how, it doesn't even matter how they figured it out. The point of it is they did, and this was before the freaking internet. And you know what they did? They invited her over and they put in small sacrifices. And that is how she found out who Diane Downs was. Then she got curious. And that woman put that young lady all the way up until her adulthood through so much crap, blaming her. You just look it up. The story's horrendous. And I think that that's what they're trying to avoid. I don't think it is a matter of putting Crystal down in any way, shape, or
Right.
form.
It
I think
absolutely is not. Listen,
it's
they want the
about
best for Crystal.
protecting their son.
they still allow Crystal and Jameson and everybody to communicate. They try to operate as like one distant family unit. Their goal is to make Jameson be able to have both parts of his life together. They're not against Crystal in any way, shape, or form, but they are against this narrative, right? At this point, there's no going back. It's not like there would be a huge difference in whether she went there and advocated for Harmony in person or if it was just her lawyer going, right? There's not going to be a difference either way, whether she showed up or didn't show up or whatever. The importance is that narrative. And so, yeah, why don't they clear it up on Court TV, River? They did the one day that Jameson and Blair were Jonathan and Blair were talking with them. But then he went right back to the other sentence that he keeps saying. And so, but I do have to bounce back out. I will join you guys again if this next call gets missed. So
Thank you,
very
Sleuth
much.
Mom. Always.
Awesome.
I mean,
Thank you
listen,
so
I gotta
much.
thank you, babe, for being up here. I appreciate it so much for clearing all this up. I gotta give it up to Sleuth Mom. I really do. She has a lot of the details, and she was super, in the middle of work, and she's agreed to come up here and stuff. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
And you know
I
what,
will-
Harley, you're right, honey. I don't think Crystal, listen, I don't think anybody could have foreseen this. Let's be honest. I really don't. And no, I don't
It's
think
just
that the
about
only
telling
person
the truth.
right, at the end of the day, the only person who is to blame for Harmony's death is Adam, and maybe a little Kayla. We don't know. But for sure, Adam, because he was found guilty. That's who the blame lies with. That is who the blame lies with. Nobody else. Adam. He did it.
Right.
So
Also, as far as that Down the Rabbit Hole news video goes, I'm gonna
Mhm.
find it. It's just I've been trying to find it, and she has a lot of videos, and this was like a year ago. But then I started doing some research and researching CPS, HIPAA, and stuff like that. And actually, they do, not all of them, but it says that, okay, first of all, schools, there's a few different places besides healthcare workers, but hold on, let me grab the thing, because certain CPS, not all, some, though not all, county DSS agencies may be covered entities under the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act of 1996. And it goes on to state the law and all of that. So some of them actually are, because I had always heard the same, Jen, that only healthcare workers. And that got me thinking, because I know she said that on her live, that no, it violates many privacy laws, but one being HIPAA. And so, yeah, that's interesting. So I don't know, but I will find the exact video and share it on the community tab or something later. It'll just take me some time, but she explains like all the reasons why the interstate compact, whatever, why they haven't been able to do it yet.
Warders Girl, thank you for being a member for 7 months. And Psycho Cunt, thank you for gifting a membership. I appreciate that. And congratulations to whoever got it. And be sure to thank Psycho Cunt. It's not just healthcare workers. The people who are responsible under HIPAA, right, are obviously doctors, nurses, but also medical records, insurance. There's all kinds of different entities. But my point is that what it means is you're not supposed to be talking about it. You're not just supposed to be sharing it willy-nilly. And what I think, and I understand, and thank you for researching that. But I still feel like there has got to be something that can be done so that this can happen. Do you know what I'm saying? So that they can, there's got to be some type of way.
I agree
that we can
I
figure
agree,
this
but
out.
it's just, I agree 100%. It's just like, it's unfortunate that we are not the first people to think that and to know that they've been trying. It's like, then what? Then how do you get it to work? What do you have to do? Because people should not be able, and they do this. Candace Wills, as a matter of fact, she had all of her kids taken up in Arkansas. And the way that it works is when you have your kids taken from you, you're not supposed to be able to have more kids. They take them straight from the hospital. That she actually had another one taken straight from the hospital. But then when she moved to Tennessee, she was able to have her kids and keep them because the CPS agencies were not working, don't alert each other and that kind of stuff.
Right. And I understand them being concerned about, let's say there is a situation where somebody is in contact with CPS one time and it follows them forever until their child turns 18. And I can understand there be, it being a concern. But I think we can figure it out. I mean, for fuck's sake, if we can figure out all the things that we have figured out. I mean, we put people on the moon, for Pete's sake. This should not be that difficult, really. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think our kids are worth it. We have to do something to keep this from happening again and again and again and again. And I don't, it breaks my heart. Now, Tess, you have been waiting so very, very patiently up here.
Yes.
And I would like to hear
Tess.
from you.
I'm okay.
Thank you.
What I wanted to say earlier this morning got all mixed up today after I read all that stuff and got really mad and angry. But my main question, and I see, I went to school for psychology, and so I try and understand the why for everything. It's something that bothers me in everything. I always need to understand the why. And I felt like no one took responsibility for what happened to Harmony. Like Kayla wouldn't take it. Adam wouldn't take it. Yes, the court made Adam take it. But I was trying to understand what their inability was to face that what happened. Why couldn't they take responsibility for it? And I kind of was like boiling it down, trying to understand, like when Kayla was on the stand, it seemed like she was half numb and dissociating, and the other half she was completely like sad, and obviously those are trauma responses. And but Adam, to me, it just seems like he doesn't have a conscience. It seems like he wasn't there because he didn't want to own up to what he did. It was like his refusal to be there. He says it's because he didn't want a cavity search and all the different things every day. But like if you think about it psychologically, I wonder if it was he didn't want to see the depravity of what he did, and he didn't want to own it. He didn't want to look at it, and he didn't want to admit it. And going there would mean he would have to do that. I know. Sorry. I know it's all very. Did you follow me?
Yes, and that's the
Yes,
same
I'm
as Chris Watts.
following you.
Okay, so
that's why I think he pled guilty, like the exact same thing. These men that
right, he didn't want to deal with it. He knew that they were going to see that, so he has his lawyers say it, so he doesn't have to. And then I started like looking into why would he do that? What person, like a person like us, like everyone in the chat probably with normal human parameters, we would feel bad for that. We would feel guilty for that. Like all of people that are normal, that have emotions, there would be something that would affect us. And it doesn't seem like anything affects him. He walks in that court all arrogant and, like smiling and laughing, or he doesn't show up at all. And Kayla is either totally numb and self-medicated or medicated by the doctor or whatever it is, or crying. And it's just really interesting. It's like both of them are not owning it or looking into it, but in totally different ways. And then I was just trying to understand like what kind of, I looked online and couldn't find anything about any diagnose, anything for either of them, because obviously it comes from somewhere. There's a deeply seated issue somewhere where this is coming from. And for Adam, I was like, he's a narcissist. I'm like, no, he's a sociopath. And then I kind of went down to the whole thing where you can be both. And that's a very, very small percentage of the people of the world that are born without a conscience. I think like a week ago, Allie, I asked you, do you think that Adam was bad his whole life? Do you remember me asking you that?
Yeah,
Like,
I do.
has he always been like this? Has he always been the kind of person who just literally does not give a shit? And so I was trying to understand, like, these people that are both narcissists and sociopaths, like they call them narcopaths or whatever, like the term that you put it together. And then I started looking into those things, and I think that that's what he is. I think that he, some of the traits that they have, they're emotionless, detached, cold. They don't consider other people's needs. They're driven by their impulses, their urges, and that kind of seems like Adam. And he has a whole, they don't care about the collateral damage that are left in their wake.
Right.
And that's all we saw on the stand, were all of these people that their lives were ruined by Adam.
What do you think about like an antisocial personality disorder as far as he goes? Because part of me wonders, and
I
then
think,
she kept, even saying him committing crimes since he was 12. Wouldn't that fall into that even more? Like isn't that a sign of the antisocial personality?
I think he's one of those rare people that are both a narcissist and have antisocial personality disorder. He's a sociopath and a narcissist, both.
What is it when somebody has like the triad? What do they call it? The triangle of something? Do you know what I'm talking about? I don't know why
Yeah,
my
hold
phone
on,
turned
you're
on.
echoing.
Yeah,
Hold on.
no, I know, because I leaned on my phone and turned the
I am-
volume up and trying to chat in the chat, not on
Hold
StreamYard.
on. Sorry, Daisy's on my lap. Daisy, stop for 1 second. Where okay,
Antisocial
I
falls into
apologize.
okay.
Question.
I didn't know that, Kathy. I didn't know that antisocial was psychopathy. I just
Yes,
remember
it
learning
is.
about it because, like, when they taught us about like 4 of the personality disorders that one time, and that was one of them. And they were given like signs of it, like, committing crimes and just different things like that.
Daisy. Oh my Lord.
Wow. Christine said, "Is it a cluster?"
Yeah, can you hold? I am. I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
you're fine.
It's
She's
all right.
got
No,
my
it's
eyebrow
Talk for a second.
spoolie. She just went in the makeup bag and took my eyebrow spoolie. Hold on 1 second, please. She's so naughty today. Hold on, please. Daisy.
So I didn't know that psychopathy was a personality. I thought that because that confuses me a little bit. But regardless, part of me wonders though, if it's not that Adam has no conscience and no feelings, but almost like he had too much of it, which got him into drugs and stuff, and then it spun out of control. But I know men that are violent and very like, oh God, aggressive, but they have like a lot of emotions, like for everything. Like for instance, my brother, he's like violent, aggressive. He can be off the chain. He's in jail right now, but and he's done a ton of prison time and stuff. But he's like such a mama's boy, and he loves the hell out of my mom. Like I know he has certain emotions, so I don't. So I also kind of wonder if Adam could be like that type where his emotions were almost too intense, which got him into using and stuff like that, and spun out of control.
I mean,
I apologize. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have to buy a new one. She keeps running. She hides under the couch. And so I've been trying that training where you give them a treat and they're supposed to drop the thing they're not supposed to have. But like, I don't think that works.
what kind of dog is Daisy?
She's a beagle and a Yorkie and a few other things. But she's so fast and tiny and I can't get under the couch.
We'll have to talk about this offline, but
thank you.
I will help you because I will say this. I have been referred to by many people as the dog whisperer. I do know how to. Yes, I don't do good with humans, grown-up humans. Children and animals I can get along with just fine.
Okay, I'm excited. Thank you. I'm just not going to chase. I watched this video and they're like, don't do it. I'm like, okay, I'm just.
Chase it, not a beagle. Beagles are worker dogs, and she's one, so she's got beagle in her. They're stubborn too, but they're so sweet. Really, and they're so smart.
So smart. Like half menace, half the best dog on earth. So I apologize. Okay, I
No,
apologize
you're
for getting
fine, babe.
distracted. Like she takes it right in front of me because she knows I'm doing something. So
I mean, are you kidding me? Have you met me at all? Are you familiar with my brand at all? I talked about Pop-Tarts for 20 minutes at the
okay,
beginning of the stream,
I'm sorry.
so it's fine.
She is a menace, but I love her.
Okay, I heard the behavior panel call it something. It's like the triad.
Oh, the dark triad.
That's it. The dark triad. That's what it is. Thank
I
you. I could. Do
apologize.
you
I'm
think he
sorry.
has that?
I see it. I'm not. You're not supposed to say that because you've never treated him.
Oh,
But yeah, I do.
oh,
I mean,
okay.
like if you think about like how it was his. The other thing that I was thinking about. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm totally off now because she made me all messed up. But him carrying the bag around, that is such a need for control. I had told Allie like a week ago, I thought maybe it was because he was holding it because he didn't want to face reality. Like once he got rid of the bag, it was real. Like she was gone and he would have to deal with it. But the more I saw in the trial and the more things people said about it and him not showing up at all for defense, if he cared, he would have been there to at least say something, say I didn't kill her. If he cared at all and had any conscience whatsoever, even if he didn't speak, he would have been there for his part to be there. Do you understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He would
Oh,
have been
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
He would have been there. And so then
Yeah.
I
Because
changed my thought, and it wasn't because he felt bad. I think he carried that bag around because he was controlling it. He needed to, he was driven by the need to control every single piece of everything. And that was how he was doing it with that piece. He didn't want to let it go. He was afraid. They're paranoid and they're, concerned that other people are trying to do things to them. And he thought that if he got rid of it or if he let it anywhere near, Kayla would tell on him or someone would find it or someone, I think that he truly was trying to control that.
that makes a lot of sense. I couldn't figure it out
Like,
beyond control, but
right.
that does make a lot of sense. Now, Amber Riot wants to know, do any of y'all think he will make a statement at sentencing?
I don't think that, I mean, probably not. Like Lil Red says, we probably will never hear from him again. However,
No.
he also stood up at that gun sentencing and spoke about harmony. And I could see him giving up and standing up and giving a "you got it wrong" type of emotional, quick little moment like he did there when he said, what he did about his daughter and the claims against him.
Interesting. I feel like if he says anything, it will be an outburst, not like, what do they call that? An excited utterance, more kind of similar to what Lori Vallow did, where she was like, and JJ is working in heaven. He's got himself a job and, just something,
Like
really
a of grandeur.
right. Exactly. Something ridiculous that doesn't explain anything and just really basically pisses people off more.
Yeah. I think that his main emotion is anger. I think that's, and a lot of times people with that antisocial and narcissistic together have that. I was kind of trying to like explain to myself like how Adam was different than say Letitia. Like Letitia, I know she has other things, but she is a narcissist. She sees everything through her own eyes. She has, an inflated view of herself and everything is seen how she interacts with every others. She likes external validation and praise and attention and success, and she wants everyone to think she's great. And Adam has some of that, but he is also different because he doesn't consider other people, his other people's emotions, and he has urges and impulses and destruction, and everything in his path is just ruined. Like, I don't know.
But let me ask you something. can you truly judge his, because I don't know, maybe you can. This is just a truly, I don't know. Can you truly make like can we judge him for potentially having these different disorders when he was so heavily intoxicated making all these decisions we're judging? Like, would he need to be sober to get like an accurate judge of who he was?
I
We haven't really seen him sober too much besides the one day in the jury trial, the jury selection. But
I read like a
other than that,
page paper yesterday about how drugs affect the brain. And obviously drugs affect the brain for everyone. Do they change your brain forever? I don't think that. Probably. And I say that, and being a person who was an addict and have been sober for 13 years, and I feel like I still have my brain, but the studies
yeah,
show that it does affect your brain. But I think with
13 years
someone,
is a long time test.
I know, but
Sorry.
you know what I'm saying. It I think that together with that, it can either numb it or it can make it worse. And the kind of drugs that he was doing, I think that can make it worse. When you're doing, I think he did meth, right? I don't know. You're supposed to say that on the
No,
internet.
crack
Crack.
and heroin.
Okay, so kind of like going a back and forth kind of thing, right? Like making
Yeah, I
it
can't figure that one out either. I want to go slow and then I want to go fast. I can't
right.
figure it out. Like pick a lane.
Oh, trust me.
That
It's
can
very
be good.
intense when it's heavy drugs like that, and I've done it a million times, and it's just very intense. There's a reason why they do it.
I think that for Kayla, she was just medicating through all the trauma. I think that she probably, to sit there and see what she saw and do what she did. She obviously has her own things, and I'm having a hard time figuring out what that is. That's why I found that article today, because I was trying to see if there was anything documented on her, like they talk about Letitia and say what she was diagnosed at, or Lori, what. And I was trying to see if there was anything about Kayla, and I can't find anything on the internet to say what if she has anything. So, she's obviously codependent to him, and this is embarrassing too. But heck, I'm talking today, so why not talk more? My ex-husband and I both used drugs together, and it's a very different situation when there's a couple, and so I could kind of put myself. Obviously, we didn't use like Adam and Kayla didn't use different drugs, and it was we're different people, but it becomes your own little private hell, and you don't tell people, and it almost excludes you more from everyone else. And so I can see why she became so dependent on him, because that secret and then that addiction just rolled them in together more and more and more and more,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then someone had said in the chat, you want to balance each other out. That's why they do it. That's why you do it, because like when you do crack or meth, you get so up there that it's like you want to, even though you want to be up there, you also want to come down, and it makes you come down easier and vice versa. You know what I mean? So it's like it's very dangerous though. That's deadly combinations of drugs. Like, I don't know. Well, look at freaking people in their lives that are no longer living. I just still can't believe, why did they have Kelsey Song? Why did her grandpa have to testify? And why the witnesses
Why come?
why come? Yes, the witnesses that a lot of people wanted to hear from, though, they didn't call, and then they call him, and I don't feel like it really did anything for their case either way. It's just, I don't know.
Well, I will say this because I'm seeing some comments in the chat. No, his drug use is not an excuse at all, ever, and he cannot. There's not going to be a pre-sentencing investigation, so it's not like Miss Smith is going to get up there and talk about how the drugs that he chose to use, how long he was using them, what age he started using them, on and on and on and on, and then present, evidence of that and try to make that some type of mitigating factor. But when we're trying to figure out how you got to understand. This is just me, for me personally. I like to understand the why so that I can understand the how, so that maybe we can do something to prevent it from happening in the future. So I think talking about this, you never know who's listening to these lives, even if, like not right this minute, but later on down the road, who might listen to it and something might strike a chord with them, something that they've seen in somebody else, and maybe they make a call that saves a kid's life. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I like to
Good point.
talk
Yeah.
about these kinds of things, because I think it's important, it's not about
An
justifying or
excuse.
excusing.
No.
And we're never going to literally be able to understand why somebody would ever do this to anybody, to another human being, that isn't a threat to you, right? I mean, I think we all can understand defending yourself, for serious defending yourself, not bullshit defending yourself. But to do this to another human being to begin with, a child, and then your own child. No, we're never going to be able to think like these people. That's not the point. But the point is maybe to see the red flags, the warning signs, so that maybe we can stop. And if we can just stop it from happening to one child, just one, if somebody listening to this makes a call that stops it from happening to just one child, I would be eternally grateful. I would consider my channel a success just based on that. You know what I'm saying? I would just really like for this to stop happening.
Yeah, I agree.
For me, I think understanding the why can help you understand how to fix it and try and do something. I know we all say we're only one voice, but a lot of one voices are a lot of voices, and that could make something better, like you said, for someone else. And also, everything I
Yeah.
said is my opinion, and I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not professional. Again, just my opinion.
I just think for Adam, doing something, doing two extremes. Heroin chills you out, slows you down, right? And then you take, sorry, I have to adjust. My back is really hurting. And then you do crack, which is, an upper. There's no middle road. You're way, way up, and then you're way, way down, and then you're way, way up, and then you're way, way down, and then you're in between. Then you're sick when you can't get it. All of that makes her a very volatile situation.
And you have to add methadone in
yeah.
there too, because they were doing methadone for a long time with all of that, which is also.
Yeah. I mean, it's all the things.
Probably. Yep.
Yeah, it's all the things. And I know that I've been really, 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 really critical and hard on Kayla. And there is a part of me that feels like maybe maybe I should chill out a little bit and let her, see what she does with her life. But then there's the other part of me that's like, F that noise, she did nothing. I don't know. I don't know how to take Kayla, and I'm very, I'm trying not to be so hypercritical of her, but her testimony, I mean, Jesus,
it's really
Mary
hard.
and Joseph, and all the fucking apostles. Let's call everybody in this, because geez, it was a lot.
How can someone sit there and talk about what she was talking about? Like she was talking about ordering like a Chipotle, like so basic.
Yes.
And so, that's the part that's mess with me, trying to understand it. Like how normal people like you and I and everyone in chat couldn't do that.
No.
We couldn't.
I admire that, Jen, about you, because I don't feel like that at all yet. And usually I do. Like I'm quick to feel sorry for somebody, but I just don't.
Yeah,
I'm not
it's
there yet
usually
with
the
her.
other way around. Usually it's Allie being like, Jen, come on. Jen, come on. But no, this time it's like,
Yeah.
you're right. I mean, she was more enthusiastic talking about any number of things, I would imagine, than there was no like emotion behind it. She was so empty, so devoid of everything. And I don't know if that's because she was, medicated, 6 ways to Sunday. I don't know what that was about, but geez, it's too much.
Yeah, absolutely. Jen Lou, go get some Salon Paws pain patch. They are amazing. Feel better.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
you need to
you.
rest. Do we,
I'm
Tess,
just sitting
what?
here and listen, I'm going to have these thoughts and these feelings and talking shit, whether I'm laying in the bed or I'm sitting in this chair with you guys. So I might as well have fun. At least I'm having fun with you guys. I have that foamy rolly thing. That's what I need to do is roll that on my back. I'll be all right, you guys. It hurts all the time. This is just an extra hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, I live with chronic pain. I'll be all right.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's it for me too, Deborah. See, every time I come around to even trying to give Kayla a half a break, I remember that they conceived another child underneath Carmony's decomposing body. And it enrages me. It's the most disgusting thing. It pisses me off. I just wish we could get some resolution in a way that we can move forward and help another child, help more children. That's what I'd like to see. That's what I would like.
Well, I think that I don't know, I think that it's important to it's not justifying at all. Like you said, it's important to figure out the why. And it's for many reasons, preventatively, but also just for us and our own mental health. Like, this is hard. Like, I know that it's hard on you guys, and I'm serious about last night. I had a full on, like, almost emotional breakdown. It was like a whole, I don't know. So, and I know you guys go through that too, because we watch and we hear all these details and we care so much, So I think it's important to get it out.
It is. It is. Well, you guys, I want to thank everybody for being in here tonight. And I want to wrap this up because ATS News is live, and God love her, she comes in here and she supports me. She goes over to Allie. She supports Allie's. And I would really like to return the favor, and let's all go support her. And we've already cut 34 minutes into her live, and I feel awful about that. But we're having such a great conversation. I didn't want to end it, but I do.
My apologies for talking.
No, Tess. No, not
We
you
loved
at
you
all.
coming up.
We loved you coming up. No.
apologize.
No, don't you dare say you're sorry. We loved you coming up. This was a fantastic conversation. If I hadn't monkeyed around and talked about snacks for 87 hours, we probably could have got this ball rolling a lot sooner. It's not you, it was me. Completely. And I'm just so proud. I'm just so grateful that you came up here to share with us. And I really hope that you will come back and we can really get into some discussions.
I have like 10 pages of notes that I didn't even talk about.
We are okay. So we need to do a night 2 then.
Yes, we should do a night 2, and we should talk about those reports.
Yeah.
Yes.
One needs to.
Yes.
Because it like that, it's really eye-opening to see in black and white how much.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's me, sexy wild thing, Carol, freaking Papa Claus.
Elvis Papa,
it's me typing.
And now my
Night,
dog
Tess. We are going to do around 2. We have to do it. We have to go through the reports.
Yes.
Please say you'll do it.
Get the link.
I will. And now that it's over, Daisy's laying nicely next to me. So
of course
she's all calm now that you're done.
Of course.
Yeah,
why wouldn't she?
Of course she is. Why wouldn't she be? Well, it's you. It's clearly you, Tess. It's
it is
not
me.
Daisy. I mean, come on.
I'm the problem. Okay, bye everyone. Thank you.
Bye, Tess. Thank you so much, babe, for coming up. I appreciate it.
I'm getting Amber's link right now. Hold on, because someone asked for it in the chat.
Okay. Yes, let's get Amber's. I need to remind me to please will you remind me to add ATS News to the Nightbot?
Yes, I will. And I just dropped it. And Riley, thank you. She said your typing and talking skills are impressive. I'm getting decently good at it, not distracting me too
You
much.
are doing good. You are doing good. But Carol, you're hearing me do it. Claus, you're hearing me type. I keep forgetting to mute. I just want to type, and because it used to not matter when I was on my laptop, but now you can hear it, So, well, Allie, thank you so much for coming up. I appreciate it, babe.
Well, thank you so much for having me. And yeah, well, I'll tell you after. But thank you so much for having me. And
of course.
I love and appreciate you, and I love and appreciate you guys in the chat. And I dropped Amber's link. I dropped it a couple times, but that was because I meant to put her name in front of it, so it wasn't just a link. And then I messed up. So they're all the same link though, so just any of them work.
Yeah, and when you go over there to Amber's, you tell them that Large Marge sent you.
She's doing an Adam's.
Yeah, from Pee Wee's Big Adventure. Tell them Large Marge sent you.
Well, yeah, tell her that, and it's an Adam trial review live.
Yes.
All right, you guys. See you there, and
Thank
love
you,
you guys.
Music City Mom. Thank you so much. That was so sweet and generous. I appreciate that, babe. You guys are really too good to me. You really are. Thank you so much, everyone. Allie, thank you. Love and appreciate everybody for being here, for being supportive, for the great chat. I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you all so very much. And I will see you over at ATS Newses.
Okay.
Bye.
Love you and appreciate you. Bye.
Bye.